Bitcoin is pumping right now. It's time to stop sitting on our hands and start trading this market that could be about to become a very monstrous, very exciting market. So today we're going to discuss what is currently going on with the price of Bitcoin. We're going to be looking at some altcoins as well and assessing why are the prices of these things so low, and is there any chance they're going to make a comeback in the near-term future. We're also going to be looking at today's cryptocurrency news, which is regarding Gemini and Digital Currency Group being accused of fraud, which is quite interesting. You wouldn't have thought that would come out of the Winklevoss twins, but it is doing. And of course, we're going to be looking at some on-chain analytics as well in today's video for the first time in a while to try and get a gauge on how the market is performing. If that does interest you, do drop a like on today's video, subscribe to the channel, turn on channel notifications, and let's crack on. So starting off today's video, the current price of Bitcoin, $28,655, but it rallied up, as I explained it probably would do in yesterday's video, and currently we're encroaching on this level of resistance. In fact, we've already hit it, and you can see that we're currently bull penanting out right now, and it's looking, honestly, very positive. Is this? The bottom end of this pennant is currently sitting at $28,140. The top end of this pennant is currently exactly where we are right now at $28,659. And if we break above that level of resistance, let's zoom out a little bit on the chart to try and get some perspective on what would happen in that scenario. If we go to the hourly chart and look, there is not an awful lot of resistance. When we break back into this range, the high of this range is all the way up here at about $30,500. That is the current price target for Bitcoin. And if we break the next key level of resistance set at $28,700 and close a 1 hour candle above that level, it's looking very, very positive. Hence why I am currently in a long position here on BitGet, which you'll find a link in today's video description. If you are trading and you are in England right now, you can still use BitGet. So check it out. You'll find a link for that in today's video description. That link will take you, that's my account page. That link will take you to this page right here, where you get up to $8,000 in rewards and you get $15 USDT for futures trading bonus for just signing up and making an account. If you use 100x leverage on that, you get a free $1,500 trade. It's well worthwhile just signing up, making an account, and having a play around. Anyway, back to the charts right now. Yes, Bitcoin is looking good. And I've spent all day on phone calls today, and it's been what felt like a long day, but it's been so productive. On the back end of things, so I see a lot more data than what you can get off a chart or what you can see off a screen. You can see this data here. You can see the volume gaps. You can see that above this level here, there is no resistance at all above $30,000. And we've got a huge band of liquidity down here, but I see more than that on a daily basis. What I see on a daily basis is entrepreneurs and daily activity. And I can tell you that from all of the discussions that are going on between everybody in the crypto community right now, there are so many ways that people can profit from this market. And it's just we've been sleeping on them. We've not been paying enough attention, one of which is the market's about to become incredibly easy to predict. If I'm correct about this and we do break these levels of resistance, then being long on the price of Bitcoin up to $30,000 would mean some significant profits, some significant returns. And I really do hope that happens. Currently, combined between BYBIT and BitGet, I'm in a $500,000 long position on the price of Bitcoin. And I expect that will only grow with time because I'm going to keep on growing that position. My position average entry between both platforms is from $28,300. Like I said in yesterday's video, when the price was down here, that is where I've opened the trades from. But the one on BitGet, I only remembered today that I don't have a trade open on BitGet, so that trade is open from a little bit of a higher level here, but still it remains just about in profit. And if we pop the top, we're never going to stop, and it's going to keep rising to the upside. So that is quite exciting. Now, aside from Bitcoin, of which I am quite bullish on, it's important to point out the downside and the risk involved in these things. It's also important to point out that if you are in the UK, your government hates you and says that you shouldn't do any of these things, so just bear that in mind. Disclaimer out of the way, however, if this price level is lost here at $28,150, then in theory, according to my research, we should drop down to the next band of liquidity down here, somewhere around $26,500. It'd be a pretty nasty drop if we lost the downside of this level, and we've got to really hope that we break the upside, because if we break the upside of this level here, things are going to get very spicy very quickly. The other level that we might actually encounter here and struggle with is if we did break this level of resistance, we would likely stop and get rejected at around $29,200. $200. So just bear that in mind. That might be a decent take profit point. It has been in the past where you make these expanding megaphone patterns. They have been quite common recently. So just bear in mind, if we do pop the top, we might actually stop and it'll be at that level there. If we get rejected at that level, we'll likely come back down and retest, and then there'll be another opportunity to go long off of around $28,633. But we also said today that we are going to discuss altcoins, some on-chain data, and the news about Gemini. So let's kick off first of all with the news about Gemini. Gemini, Genesis, and Digital Currency Group have been charged with defrauding investors. 3 entities have been charged by New York Attorney General's office. This is interesting because it's the Winklevoss twins, the founders of Facebook, that are in charge of Gemini and Genesis. I believe it's Genesis as well. I might be wrong on that one. It might just be Gemini. Genesis is separate. So, ex-Genesis CEO and DCG founder Barry Silbert have also been charged with concealing financial status of Genesis, which Gemini has been locked in a battle to regain borrowed funds from the exchange. Basically, 230,000 investors are owed $1 billion and they don't have access to it. This is all the fallout of the bear market, but right now the price of Bitcoin is pumping as expected and the trades are reaching some decent profits right now, which is very exciting to see. We want these pumps to continue, but I am quite excited about the market right now. I really do think we are going to return. However, news out of the way, why do most altcoin charts look like this? The simple answer is, when the coin launched, there was lots of hype and excitement. VCs were invested all the way back here. I can tell you from my own experience, I think that the pre-sale price on Moonbeam was, I think, 5 cents. And currently, so it's a 3x from pre-sale. So it's still in profit for anybody selling right now. I think it could have been 20 cents as well. I'm not 100% sure, but either 5 or 20 cents. Doesn't matter. Either way, VCs have sold all the way down. The prices have been absolutely crushed. But the question is something like Glimmer or Moonbeam, you can see the ticker symbol up here, is something like this dead? Or is it going to make a comeback? I think these stuff is going to make huge comebacks over the next 12 months. And I'm not saying buy it. I'm really not, because that's not what I mean by all of this. I'm saying there are tremendous opportunities in the market right now, and you shouldn't neglect them. One of which I feel is Glimmer. There's a lot more than just Glimmer that I'm looking at. The other ones, for example, you'll all know Tap. Tap is a tremendous opportunity when you compare the price to where it has been in the past and actually zoom down on this chart and just look how down this thing actually is. It gets down worse and worse and worse. But this is VC selling, VC has sold, company has resurgence in users, and now the ascent back up to all-time highs has begun again, which is currently over 100x back to all-time highs, and it's a 56x away from being the size of crypto.com. So I think that can happen over the next 12 months, but we shall see. Now, when it comes to the price of Bitcoin, we are still rallying, we are still pumping, and this is all getting very excited. I want to see this up at $29,000 plus, but we've got to look at some on-chain data right now. And that on-chain data, as you can see right here, got me crypto saving expert mug on my desk and everything. But on this data right here, you can see that exchange reserves are decreasing and there is lower selling pressure, meaning that Bitcoin is being removed from exchanges. The exchange net flow is higher than the last 7 days, which means that basically there are people depositing onto exchanges, meaning that there is an element of profit taking going on. Relative strength index is neutral. Stochastic RSI is also neutral. The NUPO, which is a net unrealized profit and loss, is neutral. Binary CCD shows that long-term holders are moving their funds, which is low long-term holders are moving their funds, which is good news. We don't want that. And the SOPR are realizing some profits because, of course, Bitcoin was higher, but this exchange data is taking into account the fact that people did deposit to exchanges because they thought the Bitcoin ETF had been approved. Now, moving on from that, Coinbase premium, high US investors buying pressure, which is amazing to see. Fund premium showing low fund ETF buying pressure, which isn't amazing to see. And the Korea premium shows that high Korean retail buying pressure, which is not bad. Anyway, moderately selling on the miners position index. Funding rate is dominant short sentiment, which is probably a good thing because you want a lot of people to be short. Open interest is decreased and possible trend reversal is on the cards. Now, that would mean that all these shorts get liquidated, and I think that could be about to be what's going to happen here. I'm quite excited for what is to come in the crypto space. We've got one more piece in crypto news today, which is that Coinbase selects Ireland for its EU base, which again is a very bullish thing. Just think the market's going to pump, and I think it's going to pump pretty significantly in the next 24 to 48 hour period. Could be wrong on that, but I am positioned in a way that would really be very beneficial if the price of Bitcoin pumped. If you are interested in trading, check out the link to BitGet in today's video description, as well as the link to BYBIT. If you're not in the UK, use BYBIT. If you are in the UK, check out BitGet and see if it's a crypto exchange for you, but definitely use the link in today's video description. It really does help out with the channel. Make sure you have slapped like on today's video. Thank you all very much for watching, and do you like my new hats? They're pretty cool, aren't they? You can get them on cryptosavingexpert.store. On that note, thank you all very much for watching. See you in the next video. Goodbye.